There was a time when I thought I'll never truly like the music I'd play, and no matter how much I was practicing, it felt like I wasn't going anywhere. And getting from beginner to intermediate was pretty straightforward. But then as I was advancing further, I could practice for hours and nail every note and still feel like something was missing. And I only realized later that it wasn't just about skill anymore, it was something deeper than that. What I discovered didn't just change how I play, my technique and accuracy, but it also reshaped how I approach my creative projects in general. So what I learned is that I can break every technical and musical problem down into tension and resolution. And I wanted to share this with you today because I think this means that if you learn to take advantage of this, not only your technique will improve, but your music will sound more beautiful and more meaningful as well. So now in this video, we'll see how this concept, the coexistence of tension and relaxation or release or resolution works on the different levels of music and how they can solve simple technical problems and complex musical challenges as well. But before we jump into that, I wanted to point out that having a fantastic luthier-made guitar that suits me perfectly has been a key part of why my music has improved so much over the past couple of years. And that's why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, guitarcollection.com. Evan Toucher, the founder of guitarcollection.com, is a professional classical guitarist, so you can really trust his judgment. And he makes these review videos for every single guitar they list, which you can watch on their YouTube channel. And I also enjoy joining his live streams where he basically showcases the latest arrivals and viewers can ask questions in real time, getting relevant information, but most importantly, a real unedited experience of how these guitars sound. And I just really want to emphasize this because I appreciate his honesty and authenticity. I think I've never seen other competitors doing the same thing, but I could be wrong. Evan can also offer lower prices than some of the bigger competitors on some of the best guitars from around the world. I can sincerely recommend getting in touch with him. Yeah, just go check them out, and thank you guitarcollection.com for sponsoring this video. See, for a long time I thought I need to push myself really hard, and that will build the strength and stamina so I can handle the difficult things more easily, and over time playing difficult things will become effortless. But that's only partly true. Yes, you need stamina to play an entire piece, but nobody can play a Bach fugue or Capriccio Arabe without releasing the tension of their body here and there. And that's something I never consciously considered or used for my own advantage. So just like practicing what notes to play and how, I needed to learn to practice relaxation points into my playing. And I'll show you how to do that in a second, but first let's take one step back and try a very simple exercise. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to use the words relaxation, resolution, release interchangeably because I'm not sure which one delivers my meaning the most just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm playing this one single note, this D on the A string, and there is actually multiple ways you can play this note. So what most people do is that they press the note, they pick it, and they don't change the pressure, the amount of pressure they apply at all. They have a set pressure and they don't change that. And usually that set pressure they use, that's a little bit more than what they actually need. But compared to that, think about this. If you pick a string, it starts vibrating, right? So it has this vibration and it has this amplitude. But as the note fades, as it starts to decay, this amplitude or this vibration gets smaller and smaller. So you need to apply less and less pressure to hold that same note clearly, right? So what I normally do is that I play the note, and over the course of its lifetime I gradually release the tension a little bit, and I want to show you a trick. So I pick it and I release little by little, and as you heard, there was a little buzzing at the end and the note stops. And that buzzing is such a valuable information because it shows you when you released too much pressure too soon. So now that we know that and, we just need to apply a little more pressure back, and that's going to be our perfect amount. That's going to be the least effort we need to hold that one single note, right? So I play and I gradually release this. Oops, too early. Try it again. And at this point, I'm barely pressing the fretboard. And maybe you can still hear the ringing of the guitar. Okay, now let's see how you can apply this concept to improve your technique. Let's see a simple bar chord exercise. And obviously the ballet is a difficult thing, so that's going to be our tense moment. So we need to look for a moment of relaxation somewhere right after a ballet. So I'm going to play just a simple one. Let's start with covering just 2 strings at a time. This is my tense moment, but just like with a single note, as you hear the notes fading, you can reduce the amount of pressure you apply. So that's already some sort of relaxation. Just gradually, but I like to add a single note because compared to the bar chord, this single note is very easy to play. So I can completely relax my hand on this one and get prepared for the next ballet. Release. And that's effortless. This is tense. And I gradually relax my hand. This is relaxed. Oops. Did you hear the little buzz? You can even, I think maybe you can even see a little change in my hand as I'm trying to relax it and I'm looking for the right amount. You can maybe see how my hand changes a little bit. Oops, too soon. And you can apply this same idea to most or maybe all of the techniques, all of the technical exercises you do, looking for tense movements followed by relaxed moments. I have made another video about my favorite 11 exercises. You can find that on my channel, and all of the exercises are based on this same concept, so I highly recommend you to check it out, or maybe get the booklet including sheet music plus tabs for each of the exercises either on Amazon or in my own web shop. However, we can't relax our hand after every single note we play, especially in an actual piece, right? So, oops, resonance. So I started experimenting with this idea and I was teaching my body to relax on the ringing notes, and the longer a note was or the slower the music was, the easier it was for me to release the tension, at least a little bit. So this always prepared me for the next tense or challenging movement that was right ahead of me. And I don't know, this is going to be probably a bad analogy, but for me it's like the difference between walking with weight that just gets bigger and heavier versus bouncing a basketball while walking. And sure, that gets exhausting too over time, but half the time I'm just waiting for the ball to bounce back and I can relax my hand a little bit. You know, maybe this is not really a good analogy. I don't even play basketball. I don't know why I said that. So when I started to apply this, I started to feel more relaxed and more in control or in charge of my movements. And playing also started to feel less painful. But then I also realized something even bigger. What if I can apply this same rule to not only my technical problems and struggles, but also to improve my musical expression? And I'm going to tell you how I did that in a minute. But please allow me to remind you that if you like what I'm doing, please consider supporting my work on Patreon, and you'll get early access on the videos. You can find digital downloads of art prints and sheet music, and certain support tiers even include one-on-one lessons with me. Okay, now back to the video. Right, so where were we? Yeah, so I learned that tension and release aren't just about technique, they are basically the connection between the notes, and together they can build up complete musical phrases. And until that point, I was just following what my teachers told me about the musical phrases. Stuff like play the last note softer, make it louder towards the middle, and I don't know, play the top notes the loudest, an upbeat can never have an accent and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, lady, whatever, you know best, I guess, so let's do that. And I even remember that for a long time I was wondering, how do they know what to do with each and every single note all the time? And if I'm ever going to know it too, like, you know, like them. But looking for tension in music and the resolution, I think it kind of like got me the breakthrough I needed. So one example of what I started to do is that I marked the phrases of the music first, because each phrase end was a good relaxation point. And I knew that I won't be able to relax my hand after each and every single note I'm playing, because obviously that's impossible. What if I had to play a scale or something that's really, really fast? I had to find groups of notes that will be tense, that will require effort from me, but then I needed to find the earliest point in the music after them where I can release the tension, or like more or less release the tension. So let's see an example for that. We're gonna look at Maria Luisa by Julio Sagreras. Okay, so I'm going to try to play the first part for you so you can get the idea. Well, okay, that wasn't fantastic. I will admit right now that the one you see was not my first attempt, because my hands are so cold. I've been sitting here and just talking for way too long. But you get the idea, and the piece starts with that little scale up. We can group that, and right at the end we have this chord which allows me to kinda release the tension a little bit, which is going to be just enough to move forward and to get by the end of the phrase, which is going to be release. And this is a better, even better relaxation moment where I can get prepared for the next little scaly thing. And that's super easy. So I'm barely pressing by the end of that chord. And here, when I change position, I'm also able to relax my hand a little bit. So I hope you get the idea. We have opportunities to relax our hands on the long notes, on the pauses, and on the phrasing points too. So what did I learn? Well, I learned that tension and release or resolution or relaxation are the smallest building blocks of music, both on a technical and musical level. And you can see it on a microscopic level when you just play one single note and release it almost completely. You can also see it on the level of musical phrases, how some notes build musical tension and some will resolve it. And you can also see it on the level of a whole piece and its structure and drama, which is so amazing and exciting. And now relaxation doesn't mean complete relaxation, right? So I want to emphasize this. Relaxation, what I mean by that is to reduce your strength and effort to the minimum amount needed. And when I play now, I look for these moments of relaxations. Where do I pause? Where do I let the music build tension? Where do I let it release? Do I have opportunities to release even more, relax even more? And this also builds up the natural pulsing of everything I play now. If this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments, but also feel free to share your story of finding your own way of playing. Also, if you liked the exercise I showed you earlier, it's from my favorite 11 exercises booklet, which you can find on Amazon or in my web shop. If you are looking for easy to follow, simple exercises that are built on this same concept, you're gonna love them. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Bye.